replicated, never duplicated. Their phone number is 562-0116. Or if you'd like to go in and sit down, it's a great family environment. Go in and sit down and have a fantastic meal. They do pizza extremely well, not only pizza, but they do many other items also. And I'm a favorite of the grilled chicken breast with provolone cheese and mushrooms on top of it. That's all I eat with a salad. Sounds pretty good.
It sounds pretty good.
Also, we want to say thank you to Bird Screen Printing, downtown La Follette, beside the Birds Memorial Bridge. Their phone number is 562-3044 for all your screen printing needs, much like the sign that you see behind us. Also, the wedding breaker that I have on, Bird Screen Printer did all of that. Folks, we want to say their phone number is 562-3044. Rainbow Ford is another one of our sponsors. Their phone number is 562-2251. It's the home of the guaranteed financing. Bad credit, bankruptcy, it doesn't really matter. Guess what? They can put you in a ride today. Also, they have extended service hours on Saturday from 9 a.m. until 1 for everyone who needs to have their vehicle tuned up. How about a coolant flush or a fuel injection cleaning? It doesn't really matter. Any make, any model, Rainbow Ford is the place to be. As well as we want to say thank you to All-Star Awards, 720 Jacksboro Pike. Their phone number is 562-6761. They are the folks who made the offense and defensive player of the award week winners for the Campbell County Cougar High School football team. And thank you, Mr. Davis, for all that you did. Now, we're going to get down to business. There is no school in Campbell County, Tennessee. None. Nada. So if you're watching, pick up the phone, call your next door neighbor and let them know there is no school in Campbell County tomorrow. Now that we got that out of the way, I just seen the phone go dead, so that means someone just hung up because they heard us talking about no school. How do you all feel about no school tomorrow? Excited? Yeah. I bet if it was basketball season and y'all had a game tomorrow, you wouldn't be excited.
No.
You'd be sad, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Coach Parker, let me ask you a question. You got 3 kids here. You've got a total of 10 8th graders. Is that right?
Yeah.
What are you going to do next year?
Rebuild. I mean,
Can't we be like Oak Ridge and just reload?
well, I mean, ideally, that's that would be the plan, but, every program, and we're going to be competitive next year. We've got a good group of 7th graders, but, these guys, we've had the majority of them since they were in 6th grade, and, they've had 3 years in the program, and it's a little bit different when, you've got maybe a 7th grader who's just played a year of middle school basketball, but these guys, they've played every game with us. Like I said, the majority of them, they've been with us, and it's just, it'll be a chore, but, there's definitely some talent in the 7th grade class.
Folks, we're joined by Coach Parker. He is the head basketball coach at Jacksboro Middle School. We also have Evan Jackson sitting directly over beside of Coach Parker. We have Elijah Phillips in the middle, and we have Jordan Henry sitting beside of me. These are 3 of the 10 8th graders that shown up tonight. The rest of them apparently had something to do, and that's okay. We'll get them next year when they're in high school. Speaking of which, where do y'all plan on playing your high school ball at? Or do you plan on playing high school ball?
Campbell County.
Campbell County. Everybody's a Campbell County fan?
Yeah.
By the way, they're winning by a score of 46-41 over Central tonight at Powell. So, Coach, let me ask you this question. What is one of the biggest games, and I asked Coach Kane the same thing, but what is your biggest game during the season for the Jacksboro Middle School?
I mean, coach speak-wise, it's always the next.
Right.
But me personally, you always want to beat your rival. And, I don't think there's any, I can't sit here and look at you and tell you that, that we don't look forward to that Follette game every year. You try not to talk about it too much, but when it comes on the schedule, you kind of get that smile on your face and you kind of get ready to go. And it's just the intensity level picks up for whatever reason. But it's just one of those things where, there's just something about that game. But, other than that, it's always the next one.
Evan, let me ask you a question. You lost the first 2 games during the regular season to La Follette. You came back in the tournament and you beat them pretty effectively. I mean, decisively beat them. what do you think, as a young player for Coach Parker, what was the difference in that basketball game during the playoff and the tournament?
We just knew that we had to win that game because if we didn't win that, we wouldn't go to Sevierville. And that's where we wanted to go.
Elijah, did you take that game more personal in the tournament than you did during the regular season? Was that something that maybe you looked at a little bit stronger?
Yes. Had to focus a lot more on that game because it's either go home or keep going.
Jordan, what position do you play?
Point guard.
Point guard. Are you the starting point guard?
Yes.
So what was different for you during the first two games and then the last game? I mean, something had to be different.
I think we played Robertson and all our attention, we brought that to the next game, contributed that way.
Coach, I understand that during the season you want to win.
Right.
But when it comes playoff time, when it comes tournament time, I'm going to stop saying playoff time, but when it becomes tournament time, it's just like a different style of basketball, is it not?
It is, and that's one thing we really tried to pride ourselves on as a coaching staff is, you want to win every game you can in the regular season. But fortunately, middle and high schools, you aren't like college where you better have a high RPI winning record, and you have to do X amount of things to get in your postseason tournament, even have a chance. So we were very competitive. I think if you look at each of our losses this year, we never got blown out of a game. I mean, that just didn't happen. And but there towards the end of the regular season, we started talking about practice. Win when it matters. Win when it matters. And I think our kids really bought into that. And we went into the district tournament playing our best basketball, and the results speak for themselves.
As far as your talent level that you have, like you said when you first come on the show, you've got 10 eighth graders. How many total kids do you have on the team?
Varsity total, I think we ended up with 14. We had three seventh graders and a sixth grader. You need numbers. I mean, you got to build numbers, and you want those younger kids to get that experience, being on the varsity bench, being in varsity practice, trying to get better for the future. And we had 23 as a whole in the program, including our junior varsity program.
Thanks for calling Just Sports. You on the air?
Hey, I just want to know if there's any school.
No, there's no school tomorrow in Campbell County. Tell your friends, too.
They want.
Tell the friends, too, that there's no school, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I was hoping that was someone going to ask a question for one of you young men. Evan, what position do you play?
Shooting guard.
Shooting guard? Okay. I'm going to have to compose myself here for just a second because not everybody that says they're a shooting guard is a true shooting guard. Coach, is he a shooting guard?
I'll tell you right now, and each one of our players, they all do something really well. But Evan is probably the just best pure shooter that I've seen in this area come through in a long time. I'm talking about just shooting the basketball, nothing else. I'm talking about shooting. He has one of the best shots that I've seen in this area in a long time.
Do you like the three ball?
My favorite shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How effective was you during the season? Pretty effective?
Decent some games.
30%?
I think he did probably that, yeah, a little bit above maybe.
Elijah, what's your position, sir?
Power forward and center.
Power forward and center. How tall are you?
6 foot.
How difficult was it for you to match up against Stretch Bailey?
He had a couple inches on me, but it didn't really stop me from boxing out and scoring.
Jordan, you're a point guard. Have you ever wanted to be a shooting guard?
I like passing the ball, making plays for my teammates, so I like point guard.
Coach, out of these three players we've got on the show, and I wish we could go across the board for all 10 of them, but what's something special that each one of these kids bring to the table for you as a coach?
Well, I'll start with Evan. Evan's one of these kids, first of all, a pure shooter, all right, and, he can help bring the ball down if we need it. Jordan gets trapped, whatever. He can help us out. Evan, for his size and his position, rebounded the ball really well for us. never panics. You know, he never really panics. The game kind of comes to him, and he just kind of, he's got a great feel for the game. And Elijah, you know, there's not a harder working post player in the district. I mean, the kid, he played with more effort than, you know, any big that we went up against in the district. People were bigger than him, but they just didn't. I mean, his motor just never stopped. And you hear that cliche a lot, his motor never stopped.
Right.
But with Elijah, that cliche really fits him. Our last two games against La Follette,
Yeah.
you know, Stretch had a really good game against us that first game. And, you know, Elijah, after that game, his mentality totally changed where he's done being passive. And he's done just, you know, he's going to be the aggressor. And our last two games, Elijah held his own against a kid that was 6'4". Jordan came to us as a transfer. He sit out last year, and Jordan came in, and he's a very unselfish basketball player, and he really relishes that role of being a point guard. He likes being the one to come down, settle everybody down, run an offense, or if he's got the ball in a fast break and we got numbers, I trust Jordan to make the right decision because I've seen the capabilities that he has as a point guard to just let him run the show.
Thanks for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
I was watching Tennessee, Florida game, watched, Florida win their 7 and, I didn't get them guys' last names, so
We've got,
introduce them again.
okay, I can do that. Evan Jackson is sitting beside Coach. Elijah Phillips is sitting in the middle. And Jordan Henry is sitting beside of me.
Well, I can't figure it out why the boys have all got dark hair that goes to junior high, and the girls are blonde.
Maybe the blonde girls don't want to go to La Follette.
Well, they match up pretty good together, the boys and girls, but the girls, I think they're putting something on their hair.
Oh, yeah? Well,
But he sure has got a good looking team of boys.
yeah, and this is only 3 of the 10 eighth graders that Coach Parker coached this past season.
Well, he sure can pick them to play on his team. I tell you that they're good looking guys. Do we make good grades, Coach?
Oh yeah, that's one thing I never had to worry about with these guys is every one of them are A and B students.
Well, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Talk to you later.
See ya. Coach, as far as your season, how did you finish with your season, your win-loss record?
I think we finished 12-8, and we really played a tough out-of-conference schedule. That's one thing we started last year. We always, the coach at Powell Middle School and myself, we have a great working relationship. And one thing we started last year was the in-school basketball games to open up the year. And last year they came to us, and this year we went over to Powell in front of about 900 students and plus family members, cheerleaders. So we played in front of about 1,000 people in the gymnasium at Powell Middle School. It was a really great environment for these kids. I mean, even though we went over there and lost the game, it was our first game of the year. We lost by 5 to a Powell team that I think ended up finishing second or third, maybe in Knox County. But you know, to be in that atmosphere, to be in that game, I felt was like something that may benefit them down the road playing in front of a packed environment. But you know, they with Powell, we played CAK, Grace Christian. We really, and we played in a Christmas tournament over in Farragut and played some really quality teams. So, and I think it helps you come tournament time. I really do.
Well, La Follette went 9-10. So, boys, y'all finished better than La Follette. Not saying nothing against La Follette. I mean, we had them on here last Thursday, but it's got to feel good anytime that you finish in front of La Follette. Correct?
Yes.
Jordan, what's probably one of your best games that you had this past season?
Robertsville.
Robertsville?
That was a deal.
So you beat Robertsville. What was the score? Do you remember?
No, I know we beat by 2. I hit the last 2 free throws in there.
So, you do like shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I like jumping basket.
What about you?
Either Grace or the second game against La Follette.
What was so special about Grace or the Follette game?
Grace, I had like I think 20 points, and then La Follette, the first game stretch, I only scored like 3 points.
So he kept you
Yeah,
away
kept
from
me
the
out.
basket, kept you out of the game.
The second game I came in, scored like 16 points. He only had like 4. So it's a big change in the 2 games.
Evan, what about you? What's one of your favorite games that you played this past season?
Probably at Clinton or the last game against the Follette in the tournament.
What was so special about those 2 games?
In Clinton, I hit 5 threes and I shot around 70% that game. And I hit them when they count. And the Follette, I played probably one of the best defensive games I've ever had in this year.
As far as for coach, what's something that you'll remember, Evan, about Coach Parker? I remember telling the story last Thursday. Oh, here we go. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air. I remember talking to Coach Kane last Thursday, and I asked him a particular question. What was it that he remembered about middle school basketball when he played at middle school? And his answer was when Coach King chewed him out the whole half for fouling somebody at the end of the first half, and then that kid making 3 free throws. Has anything ever happened like that to you? What's something that you're going to remember the most about Coach Parker?
He's always going to have our back no matter what happens.
You're going to hate to move on to the next level?
What?
Adjusted to a new coach? What about you, Elijah?
He always like made you try your hardest. Always made you hustle. If you didn't do something right, you had to correct it.
Jordan?
He's always on our backs. Like, if it wasn't a good call, he'd like be out there.
So he would get after you?
He'd get after Reds.
He'd get after the Reds?
Yeah, when he called that call.
Well, what if you made a bad play? Would he get after you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, like when we played Jefferson the first time, I shot a long 3. He got mad.
Early in the possession, I remember that one. Yeah.
So, Coach Parker, what's some of the things that you'll remember as a coach, coaching some of these 8th grade kids during their last season at middle school, moving on to a new chapter in their life, never ever to play middle school basketball again, and you never ever coaching those particular kids at the middle school level? What's something that you probably do remember the most?
About this group is, honestly, I can say every day at practice, these kids work their tails off. And one thing that really just impressed me, and, I've never had a group as a whole do this, is, when they would lose a close game and we came out the next night, these kids wasn't dropping their heads. They were competitors, and they would come out and fight tooth and nail, no matter what happened the previous night. They handled adversity as well as a whole than any team I've ever coached. And that's one thing, this team, adversity was nothing to these guys. Something goes wrong in a game, after a game, whatever. These guys, the next day, they're over it, and we're playing. A prime example, we lose to Robertsville, who just went over to the sectional tournament, Pigeon Forge, and made it all the way to the championship game. We're playing those guys at Robertsville in the semifinals of the district tournament. We're 29-29, and they hit a buzzer beater from about 30 feet away at the buzzer to beat us and put us in the consolation game. Well, after the game, talking to the coaching staff, Chris Smith and Bo Vincent, and we're looking at each other like, what do you go in here and say? What do you go in here and say? And everybody was kind of lost for words. So we go in and tell the kids, we've still got another opportunity, can't get down. And as you're saying that, you don't know if you're doubting yourself. You don't know how the kids are going to handle it. You don't know how you're going to handle it. And then we come out and we win the next game comfortably in the consolation game. And to me, that was the biggest testament to them handling adversity is you lose on a buzzer beater to advance to the district championship. And then you come out in the consolation game and it's just pedal to the metal and we're winning by 15 points midway through the third quarter. I mean, that's just a testament to how mentally tough these kids are.
Well, it's one thing to coach technique, fundamentals, how to read the defense, where to move the ball to, how to slide your feet. But it's pretty tough to coach being endured and having endurance, motivation, and something sounds like to me that you're very blessed with that with these kids here this past season.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, you can look back and look at some things and go, there were times when, we turn the ball over, Elijah misses a layup, or Evan doesn't take a shot when he had it. And, we get on our kids. We coach our kids hard, and we expect the very best that they can do out of them. And, they just, when these kids, when they leave and they advance to go to high school, I hope that mentality sticks with them. Because if they can take that mentality night in, night out, then they're going to beat some people just on that.
Well, it's certainly about the fact of coaching kids and getting them to the next level, but to carry what they have learned through middle school and much other, just like the talents that they have, much like the motivation, self-motivation, self-discipline, and that's pretty much what it boils down to, self-discipline. What's some of the other games that you all faced this year that was probably some heartbreakers that you probably should have come out and won and got beat late like that?
District champion Oak Ridge Jefferson. We're at Oak Ridge Jefferson, and we come down. We hit a three, puts us up by 4 points with about a minute left, and they go down, hit a shot. We come down, miss a shot. They go down, make one, ties it. We come down, and I had a guy wide open underneath the basket. They trapped us, turned us over, and they beat us by 2 at their place. So that one to me is just, because I felt like we had that one on the road at an Oak Ridge school. That's when I really like playing these Oak Ridge schools. Some people don't. It's a big deal to me because that's who these kids are going to play when we get high. When you play the Oak Ridge schools and bring your best, and you have an opportunity to win like that, you want to catch in on it.
Thanks for calling Just Sports. You on the air?
Yes, I was just wanting to congratulate Henry, Cleve, and Evan, and tell Coach Parker that I hope the score the Gators lost tonight. And I just wanted to ask Coach Parker, what was your mindset going in? Losing the first 2 games against La Follette. What were you telling your team going into the last game against La Follette where you was coming out with a victory? I'll hang up and listen to you. Thanks, Coach.
That's a great question. I think we had. Do we have a date to prepare? Yeah, we had a day to prepare for La Follette. They did because they played the night we had to practice. And that whole practice, we were just going over the first game. Stretch killed us inside. Second game, we hold Stretch to 4 points, and they start hitting shots on the perimeter. And our kids really, we made some adjustments to the way we were playing our defense, and we still, we didn't want to give Stretch the ball, but we wanted to guard the perimeter and not allow what happened up at La Follette to happen again. And our kids were so dialed in at practice. They were so dialed in, so focused, and there really wasn't much to say. At the end of practice, somebody's got to make 2 free throws to send us home. Well, somebody sent us home, made 2 free throws to send us home, and I can remember very clearly, I just looked at them and said, it doesn't matter who you play. It's either win or go on. And obviously we went out and got the job done.
One thing I would like to do next season, your games is on Monday and Thursday, is that correct?
Yes.
One thing, and I've talked to Coach Kane about this as well, but I would like to get you on the show sometime during the season. Actually, probably 3 or 4 times during the season, if it's possible. I know you're extremely busy with football and basketball, and I understand that. But I'd also like to get Coach Kane in as well But I would love for the Monday, for the Monday or the Thursday matchup, I would love to have you on one side, Coach Kane on the other side, and just talk about what basketball means to you as a coach, but more importantly, when you play each other and how it's such a roller coaster effect as far as Jacksboro may win this one, LaFollette may win this one, and there's never that I can remember, and I don't follow it extremely close these last few years, but there never has been that I can remember a clear favorite going into these LaFollette Jacksboro games.
And I think one of the reasons is why there's no clear favorite from game to game is, you know, I think these kids, from where they know each other on a personal level, and pride comes into it on both sides. These kids don't want to lose to their buddy.
Right.
I mean, they just don't want to lose to their buddy, and you know, it's just, I don't want to say there was a difference in effort from LaFollette games to any other regular season games, because there wasn't with our kids. But when it was all on the line at the end of the year, our kids sold out against LaFollette and gave everything they had. I mean, you can see our kids were exhausted. But I think those kids, both sides, when they know each other on a personal level, I know LaFollette kids on a personal level, go to church with some of them. I mean, it's just, it's pride. It's all it is, it's pride. And I think that's the reason why a lot of times Jacksboro and LaFollette games are so close. Pride.
Not one to lose to the hometown or rival team.
No, and there's nothing worse than losing to your rival on your home floor.
You lose to Robertsville or you lose to Oak Ridge Jefferson, guess what? You don't have to see them kids until the next time you play them.
Right.
LaFollette, you're in pretty much to me, LaFollette, Jacksboro, and Carrollville is just like one big town to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
One big city. So, to me, it's something that you have to live with day to day. And then when you see your buddy, it's kind of tough, isn't it, Elijah? Pretty tough, Evan? So y'all's LaFollette players said this the other night, that they had some friends on the Jacksboro team. I remember a time, and I can only say this to you, and as well as Coach Kane and the coaches prior to you and Coach Kane, y'all have done a fantastic job, because I remember as a LaFollette Al going to school, and we didn't have friends on the Jacksboro team. We was Jacksboro, we was LaFollette, and that was it. The line was drew in the sand, and we didn't cross it, and they didn't cross it. So over the years, that has changed so much, which I think has only positive effects on how those kids will react when they get to high school and play the game of basketball with one another.
Absolutely. I think that goes for all sports. You know, it's almost it's almost to the point where if you're not, don't like them the night you play them, okay? And before the game, whatever. After the game, you can be their buddy. You know, nobody cares. But I just think it's not like it used to be where you got to separate both fan bases at the games. And people, I think, have moved on from that. And I think back when it was Jacksboro High and LaFollette High, it was a little bit different. And I could see that being high schools. But now that they're both middle schools and they're both going to the same place, there's really no sense of hating each other, because you're going to have to spend 4 more years with each other.
Right, exactly. Well, Coach, we certainly appreciate you joining us. I know it's a fast 30 minutes. Evan Jackson, thank you. He's a shooting guard, 8th grader. Elijah Phillips is a power forward and center. He is an 8th grader as well. Jordan Henry is point guard. He is an 8th grader also. So they're all going to be moving on to the next level to high school. And Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. And I'm not only these 3 guys, but I'm just proud of our whole team this year for making it back to Sevierville. It's the first time in 10 or 12 years that Jacksboro has been back-to-back Sevierville trips. So we're proud of that as a program, and hopefully that's something we want a staple to be as a program, is always getting to Sevierville, because that shows that you can compete with the best talent from Johnson City to Chattanooga.
Well, we certainly appreciate you, Coach. Folks, you've been watching Just Sports for the first half hour on WLAF Sports Network. Are we ready?
You're ready.
Now?
You're live.
We're live. That's awesome. I didn't hear 3, 2, 1 or anything. She's on top of it.
I don't think you're allowed to tell her hold on. I think that's one of
Oh,
the deals where
yeah.
you-
I did say hold on, didn't I? Folks, welcome back to the Tuesday night edition of Just Sports. My name is Les Martin, along with Brent Allen, and as always, our wonderful and most outstanding and most importantly, understanding
That's right.
producer.
Very understanding.
So,
She puts up with us.
yes, she sure does. Okay, we got to talk a little bit about the Olympics because the United States of America is not faring too well in the gold count.
Well, they never really do. I mean, generally, the Winter Olympics aren't our thing, you know. In
It's
fact,
summer?
we've never medaled in the luge event until now.
Right, and we did that by an American female, and I don't know what luge is. I don't think.
It's the you sit
Oh
in the
yeah, you
little,
lay down on that
yeah.
thing, and your feet hang over the little things.
Yeah,
And you,
you're going really fast, and your feet first.
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's on. I like to watch that. I just
Yeah, it's
didn't know
pretty
the name
exciting.
of it.
They really fly. It's pretty amazing.
Also, Campbell County boys beat Central by a score of 47-45, so they will advance. And we're going to get that information, I promise you. It's coming up here just
What
shortly.
information?
The information about they advance, as well as there's no school tomorrow in Campbell County.
That's right.
No
Yeah.
school tomorrow in Campbell County, no school tomorrow in Knox County, no school tomorrow in Anderson County. So that should cover everybody that lives in this area.
I think it's probably a waste of time, but hey, you know what? Enjoy some time off, kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Well-deserved time off. Campbell County tonight beat Central by a score of, that's 47-45. Boy, that just, did you see how that just went black?
Went black.
Also, the girls won as well. Last night, they beat, I want to
Powell.
say, Powell. They beat them pretty handily by a score of like 58-31 or something of that nature.
Yeah.
How about 56-28? They beat Powell. Their next game is Friday at 6 o'clock. And the girls will play a team, and I'll tell you here, they play the winner of,
Another game.
yes, my tablet just keeps going out on me.
Well, what is their record now? Do you know?
I don't have a clue.
They're certainly doing well.
They are doing extremely well. Thanks for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
Can you tell me if there's going to be school for Campbell County tomorrow?
There's no school in Campbell County tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
No school tomorrow.
There's no school in Campbell County. I know that I can continue to say this, but not everybody watches Channel 12. But
There's
we're
the
also,
problem.
yeah, but you need to watch Channel 12.
Yeah.
You're also on the radio as well as the internet, 1450WLAF.com. As I go to pull up some more information on Campbell County High School, I'm going to try to tell you, what have you got on your plate? Let me ask you that.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Have you already mentioned the Florida-Tennessee score?
No, I haven't.
Unfortunately, we dropped yet another one. It was close. Right as we went on the show, as the show began, I think we were down by 3, or right before I came in, we were down by 3. And the final score was 67-58. We lost to Florida. So
And this was the number 3 team in the nation, by the way.
yeah, which is, I guess, it's reasonably, it's a good score against a team like we're not ranked. Florida is, but we certainly had the opportunity to beat them, and had great fan support, but just couldn't pull it out. So I'm on the Bruce Pearl train personally, but you know what he did.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
Also, we've got, according to ESPN, Tennessee's football recruiting class. As everybody knows, they were a top 5 class, which is amazing in itself. The recruiter Tommy Thigpen was named the National Recruiter of the Year. That's a big deal.
it is a big deal.
That's a huge deal. He was instrumental in 17 of the 31 signees in getting them in and closing the deal, and especially the 2 late ones from Vandy. Some big pickups there. And on top of that, ESPN has deemed the running backs for Tennessee the top running backs class in the country.
Well, you got Darrell Scott and you got Jalen Hurd.
Right? And
And-
Trayvon Polk.
Yeah, and Trayvon Polk, which you forget about Trayvon Polk.
You do, and he's a 4-star according to ESPN. Now, Rivals may have him as a 3, but ESPN's got him as a 4.
Thank you for calling Just Sports. You are on the air.
Hey, is this school tomorrow?
Do you watch Channel 12?
Yeah.
Well, we're on right now telling everybody there's no school in Campbell County.
No school.
No school.
Good, because I did on the to go, and it said the school. So we've come been short.
No, there's no school.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. I don't know what's wrong with my tablet. It's messed up, so we're going to have to fly by the...
We're going to have to act like we know what we're talking about.
We do. And here's another thing on a more serious note. And I say more serious note. Michael Sams, he spends the whole year quiet about the fact that he...
Well, 4 years. He's spent 4 years, in playing for Missouri and doing a great job. I mean, he ended up the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, I believe.
Right. Do you think that will have an effect on this young man being drafted?
I do.
in May?
I do. I don't agree with it necessarily. I don't agree with the lifestyle. I don't agree with any of the mess. But unfortunately, I think in this day and age, you can listen to the some of the players and their opinions. I think it will cause problems in the locker room. Call it fair, call it unfair. Sorry, I believe it's going to be an issue.
Well, he is the first openly gay athlete that has announced that he's gay prior going into the NFL. Now, does he hurt his draft status? His draft stock?
I think it does, because there's going to be teams out there who don't want. I mean, as great a player as he is, there's other guys out there that are close. They're in the same league. They're going to take the other guys first because you don't have all that turmoil in the locker room and all the extra cameras and asking the questions. Is it uncomfortable in your locker room? They need to be focusing on football, just like the president needs to be focusing on president stuff and not worrying about, congratulating Mr. What's his name, man?
Michael Sands.
Michael Sands, yeah, on announcing his homosexuality. That's just pointless to me.
Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air?
Bruce Pearl is not going to come back to coaching. He's a star on ESPN.
Bite your tongue. He's coming back.
He'll come back.
Doing the narration for all and sports for guessing on all who's the best.
Did you hear his interview on a different radio station recently?
No. I
Well-
heard him tell about it on the news.
Yeah, he would not rule out coming back to Tennessee. And he said he loves Knoxville. He loves what he's doing. He loves his job now, but he really loves Knoxville and the fan base here, so
Well,
he still lives
makes
here.
more money at what he's doing now than he would if he was coaching.
It's not about the money. Bruce Pearl's a coach. He was wearing an orange tie on ESPN the other night, too.
Well, I want to tell Les Martin what to do to get rid of his glasses.
Okay.
Just take them off.
He needs to have his eyelids lifted.
Eyelids lifted.
So are you going to tell me cucumbers will do that as well, since you said
No,
back before I needed to put cucumbers on my eyeballs?
I see you without those glasses, and you have to squint to see. Have your wife to have you an appointment made, and they will just cut some little slits their eyelids and lift them up, and that way you can see better.
Hey, will you pay for that?
No!
Wait a minute,
Not
hold on.
insurance.
Huh. What if I don't have insurance?
You got insurance, I'm sure, because your wife would make sure you did have it.
She knows my wife pretty well.
Yeah,
Because I didn't
figured
have
out.
insurance
I don't
before.
know her, but I know what she needs to do for you.
Well, I'll see if I can't have my eyelids lifted by next
Well,
Tuesday.
For you.
For you.
Cut out a little bit of skin and take a few stitches, and that lifts them up to your eyes. You don't have to squint to see.
You see why I like radio instead of television?
Well, you look pretty good with the glasses, but you can see better if you had your eyelids lit.
I'll see what I can do. I can't make no promises.
It works because a lot of these guys do it, and the women all do it.
Well,
That explains some things.
yeah, it does.
Why a lot of women can't blink.
So take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
You know, the last time I remember, not long ago, she called in here and told me I needed to put cucumbers on my eye bags.
Yeah, I think she was talking about both of us.
Oh,
yeah, she
okay.
told us both. We both had, you know, I think that was back during football season. We had a lot going on, you know.
Sure we
and,
did.
You know, going. So
Another question I've got about Michael Sam's, it's actually not about Michael Sam's, it's actually about the Richie Incognito and the Jonathan Martin saga.
no relation.
No relation. There was bullying between Richie Incognito to Jonathan Martin of the Miami Dolphins. And apparently, to my knowledge, neither one of these individuals are homosexuals.
Right.
So, does that open the door for gay slurs and things like that when a player comes out? I mean, I personally, I don't know, I personally would have a hard time being in a locker room with a homosexual individual.
Yeah,
I'm just going to be perfectly honest with
There's
you.
nothing wrong. That doesn't make you homophobic, and it doesn't make people, you know, and there are obvious reasons that we won't get into that. You know, it's just not. It's not normal. And again, it's not. We're not debating whether it's right or wrong. It's not. I don't care. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand it. Of course, I don't understand advanced algebra either. But you know, it doesn't mean I don't like it or you know I have a problem with it. I just don't understand it, and I don't understand this. The issue is simply, will it cause trouble? The answer is yes. It's going to cause trouble. Is he the first gay player? No, I'm sure
Probably
nobody
not.
knows. But the fact that he's brought it out in the open, all he's done is put a target on himself. It's unfortunate. It's not necessarily right or wrong. I'm not going there. I'm just saying that I sense it'll be a problem. And as an owner or a GM or whatever in a position with a team, you've got to look at the big picture. You know, how many times? Look at Dennis Rodman. You know, I mean, how many teams probably shied away from him because of all his antics? Yet he was a great player. I mean, he was a hustle guy. He got all the loose balls. He fought for everything. Great rebounder. You know, you got to be able to put up with it, and a lot of them aren't going to put up with it.
Well, I can tell you what Michael Sam's father said. He said the simple fact that he didn't like the idea of a gay individual being in the NFL.
So his father didn't know either until then?
Apparently not.
Okay.
Because he told the New York Times that he didn't like the fact of a gay player being in the NFL, as well as he went on to say that he did not want his grandkids raised in that type of environment. He said he's from old school, where a man and woman gets married, and just to be perfectly honest with you, I don't see how that's old school. I think that's the only way to
Well,
be.
that's how humans, you know, reproduce. So therefore, it's kind of something we got to do.
Exactly. So he seems to have an issue with it as well. It's one of those situations to where it is what it is, but I disagree with it. I don't agree with the lifestyle at all, regardless of who it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. But the bottom line is, I think there's no place for it. I don't think it needs to be a dog and pony show, and I think that's exactly what it's leading into, is a dog and pony show. Please forgive my expressions of, I want to say, a lack of better terms or better words.
That's perfect, Don. I think it's what it is. It's going to be like a circus or sideshow. You know, they got to ask him all the questions. You know, waste of time.
Coach Housley, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing better than I deserve, Wes. How are you?
Buddy, I am so glad you could take time out of your busy schedule to call in and talk about the victory against Central tonight. How important was that for your kids and yourself and the coaching staff to get that victory in the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, I was just talking to Spencer a minute ago, it definitely, it was nice to get this one just because we've not played, we didn't have the season that we thought that we would have as far as our talent-wise and, where we thought we would be in the district. But, survived in advance, got the win tonight, and just got to get ready for Halls on Thursday or, whenever we get to play with this ice storm moves in.
Well, that brings me to my next question. You beat Halls last Friday night at home by a score of 52-49. You'll be playing them again Thursday night at Powell. Is that correct, Coach?
Yes, sir.
7:30. Going into your next game with Halls, is it easier for the team that won, or is it easier for the team that lost come the next round of battle when the two teams meet?
Well, I mean, it's really going to be, we're both going to have to do a little bit of a dusting. They'll probably guard our pick and roll and our, post action with Lettner a little better. Then we'll have to guard their shooters, and mainly their number 5 and 25. Just have to keep them from going off again. But we'll probably be able to grind it out game where every possession is so important, and I'll have to make one more play than them at the end, hopefully again.
As far as the game Thursday night, what is some of the things, Coach, that you may change before you meet up with Halls? I know that if they start to, just from what you were saying tonight, if they start to guard the post and start guarding against the pick and roll, isn't one of those situations to where you're going to have a shooter to step out beyond the perimeter and knock down the jumper?
Yeah, and that's kind of why they guarded the pick and roll the way they did Friday. I mean, everybody in the district and in the region knows that Tucker can shoot it really good, Aaron can shoot it really good, Tess can shoot it really good. They know Trey can get to the rim, almost at will. So that's kind of the way that they guarded our pick and roll the way they did Friday to try to keep Darren off of it. But the good thing about our team is Wes, that when they try to shut Darren down, and I guess Mitchell held them tonight. We've got really good guys. Nick Bailey stepped up tonight. Dallas Griffin played probably the best game of his career tonight. Tucker stepped up big time tonight. Ross and Trey. I mean, everybody knows Darren's our leading scorer. He's looking to get involved in the game early. But it sure is nice to have other guys stepping up the past two games other than him.
I certainly don't want you to look ahead, Coach, but you're in a pretty tough bracket. You started out with Central tonight. You beat them. Now you're going to play Halls. And, of course, it always gets tougher the more you win during the tournament. But you're in with the likes of Halls and Carnes. And Halls you've already beat. But Carnes you almost beat. You lost by a score of 70-68. What's something that the Campbell County Cougars will have to continue to do to continue the march through the tournament?
Well, our main emphasis, it'll be kind of like what we talked about last week. We've got to make sure that we're getting defensive stops, and that enables us, that fuels our transition game, and that's when we're at our best. And tonight we didn't rebound as well as we wanted to. Gave up a lot of second chance points, but that'll be something obviously against both of those teams. Halls crashes hard. Central tonight crashed really hard, and we know Carnes crashes hard on the offensive glass. So those are all things we know that Carnes, they're up there, but we're focused on Halls right now, making sure that we're doing everything that we can do to get ready for them. And that the rebounding deal, the defensive rebounding, that's kind of transparent. That goes with every single game plan that we have, because that fuels our transition game.
I know, Coach, over the last 2 or 3 months, you have the naysayers, much like we had the naysayers of the football program saying, they're still the same old Cougars. For those naysayers that maybe thought maybe one and done in the tournament, Coach, what do you do now as far as moving ahead for the team and for the players and for the coaching staff?
Well, I mean, that's an answer. I honestly couldn't care less about that part of it. But we know the pedigree of the kids that we have in the locker room. We know the talent level that we have, and we know the players and the kids that we have. And it's just a matter of getting them to click and to play together and to play for one another instead of themselves. And the last little while, I mean, we've had a couple letdowns. The Powell game didn't play very well. The Halls game game over the third place didn't play very well, but the kids were playing together, and when they're playing together, you know, we proved that we can play with anybody. So, you know, as far as naysayers, I'm not really worried about it because, you know, all 15 of the kids on varsity and all of us, we're focused on, you know, getting the kids that we have and doing the best with what we got. So, you know, just have to get them ready and be more prepared, you know, for the next team than they are for us.
As far as any injuries, Coach, did y'all have any injuries for tonight?
No, we're actually, knocked on wood, as healthy as we've been all year. Nobody's on an injured reserve right now, so everybody's healthy, everybody's playing well, everybody's feeling good, and you know, just gotta keep this thing rolling.
Now, as far as tomorrow, will you all practice tomorrow before the game Thursday, or will you just have a lot walkthrough, or how will practice be tomorrow, if there is any at all?
Well, we'll have to see what this storm can do. I definitely want to give the kids the morning off. They battled tonight. They did leave everything on the floor tonight. So I want to reward them, not make them get up early in the morning for practice. And we'll see what this whole ice storm deal is supposed to do. I don't think we're going to get anything, but who knows? We'll kind of just have to play it by ear. I really don't think we'll be playing Thursday. But we're gonna prepare like we are playing Thursday, and you know, just go from there.
Does it benefit this Campbell County Cougar team if they don't play Thursday and maybe have an extra day to where they can get their legs, because they just come off of a tough win against Halls Friday night? They come off a tough win tonight against Central. Will that extra day of rest, Coach, if the games get canceled, will that benefit our Campbell County Cougars?
Yeah, I mean, it'll, you know, either way, I'm okay with whatever happens. Obviously, if we have another day, you know, that's another day to watch film and to get the kids ready mentally as well as physically. But if we play Thursday, you know, I'm fine with that too. The kids they're getting up and they're getting excited for the games, and they're kind of you know, energy-wise leading themselves, and it's nice to not have to sit there and tug and pull and get them to play hard and to get them to play enthusiastic and together. So, you know, if we play Thursday, I know that they're going to get themselves up for it. They're going to be ready to go with energy-wise and all that. If we play Friday, if we push on Saturday, whatever, we'll spend a little more time preparing and be ready to go then.
As far as the kids being up, how much more confidence would these kids have knowing that they beat Halls Friday and knowing that they're going to face them again the next game in the tournament? How much confidence does that help your squad, Coach?
Well, I mean, the confidence, you know, as far as confidence and morale and everything that we want and we preach every day, it's not high right now. It's at the highest it's been all season, and I really think that it starts just with, you know, I feel like Tucker has done a phenomenal job leading us this year, and the last couple games, Darren hasn't got his points, and he's not scored what he normally has been, but he's been just the same old Darren, you know, not kind of having a pity party or not being mad about not scoring, and Trey is really taking on a leadership role in this team, and he's doing everything for us right now. And, you know, and these guys, with them shutting Darren down and denying him everywhere, you know, it's just enabled, you know, guys like Dallas, Dick, Buck, Trey, Austin, those kind of guys to shine, because they're getting one-on-one matchups now, whereas they wouldn't normally be getting that help side defense. So, you know, the opposition just tried to take Darren away. He can shoot it really well, but the rest of our guys are pretty darn good too.
I got one more question for you, Coach, and I'll let you go. But my question for you is, did the Carnes game, where you all battled from start to finish and lost by 2, did the Carnes game change something for your kids? I mean, did they look at the fact that, hey, man, we can really play with these teams in our district? Did they look at that as a change for them?
Yeah, that was a really big game. That's kind of why Tuesday was so disheartening, because we saw how well we could play together on Monday. But you know, obviously Friday had a better effort, tonight a better effort. But you know, our kids are more talented than what we have shown, and we are a much better team than what we've shown. And and it's just honestly, it's playing together and playing for one another rather than ourselves. And it all starts with, with our senior guys, Tucker and Trey and all those guys getting into the paint. But if they've got the shots ready, if not, they're looking to kick, and we've got really good shooters on the outside. So, really just got them, got them to see that, hey, we can play with anybody, and we've got to trust, we have to trust each other. We've got to trust that if I make the pass, the extra pass, that, he's going to knock it down, or he'll make the extra pass to me the next time that he has, or something like that. So, it turned us for the better on Monday night. You're right.
Well, Coach, we certainly appreciate you calling in, and congratulations on the great victory tonight. And when I say a great victory, I certainly mean a great victory, because I promise you, the skeptics wasn't calling for us to win one during the district, and you all did a great job, great coaching job, great job by the kids, and congratulations again, Coach.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you, Les.
All right, talk to you later, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Coach Housley was one of those, it had to be a tough win.
47-45 was the final, but it was, I think they were like a little push at the end there, because I think we were up 47-41.
Right.
And then they held them off. So that's a great job. Hats off to them. Great job.
They will play Thursday night, providing that the weather will hold up. They will play Thursday night, providing the weather agrees with us, at 7:30 at Powell. If not, then it will be moved, and we don't know if it's moved exactly when that will be. It could be Saturday, could be Friday, whatever the case may be. So also, we want to say that the girls, they beat Powell by a score of 56-28. They will play Friday night, I believe, at 6 p.m., considering, and this is all considering, if the weather, depending on what the weather will do.
Exactly.
So
it's about time to go, and we have to say congratulations to Nick Bailey. He committed to Carson Newman.
Thank you.
And
that slipped my mind.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I'm sure he'll do great. Congratulations, Nick Bailey. Corey Phillips and Andrew Evans are both going to Kentucky Christian University.
Yes, they are.
Congratulations to them as well.
So there's more kids that they're adding, that Coach Price and this community is adding to other football programs, but more importantly, to the community.
Yeah, and it's a great reflection on the coaches and the community and the direction that the community is going. And I think you hit the nail on the head earlier talking to Coach Parker about the combination of the teams. Jacksboro and La Follette getting along. They're friends now. They fight when it comes time to fight, but they're friends when it's over, because they're all going to be Cougars. And I guess we're out of time.
Yep. Our executive producer is standing right over there to our right from your Hometown Sears studio, and it is time for us to go. Folks, we will see you Thursday night at 9 o'clock. For our executive producer, which always does us a great job on Tuesday night, Honeybee. My name is Les Martin.
I'm Brent Allen. God bless, and go Cougars.
WLAF Sports Network.